Hello everyone, welcome to the session on Indices and Surds actual questions given in AP and TG ICET 2025. Right. In this session, we will be focusing on the questions given on those topics, indices and surds given in Telangana ICET as well as AP ICET in 2025. Let's look at the first question given here. The question is basically focusing on, but before that, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Time for ICET, for getting the latest updates on ICET related information and watching the videos for your preparation. So let's look at the first question here. If x plus y plus z is equal to 0 and a is greater than 0, then it is basically a to the power of x square by yz, but that is printed as that way, into a to the power of y square by z xz and into a to the power of z square by xy. So it's basically in the form of a to the power of x square by yz into a to the power of y square by xz into a to the power of z square by xy. So this is in the form of a to the power of m into a to the power of n into a to the power of p. So we know from our indices and surds basics, a power m into a power n into a power p and unte ganaka basis same aithe, when we are multiplying we will add the powers, that is m plus n plus p will be having. So ikkada manaki a to the power of x square by yz plus y square by xz plus z square by xy we will be having. Now we will take the denominators, LCM for the denominators in the power. So yz, xz and xy undi kabatti LCM will become xyz. Yz in xyz will go how many times? X times. X into x into x square amountundi x cube. Alane y xz will go y times. So y into y square it will become y cube. And xy will go z times. So it will become basically z cube. And what we know here from the given data is x plus y plus z is given as 0. If we have sum of three numbers is 0, like x plus y plus z is 0, then we know from our school days that x cube plus y cube plus z cube will become equal to 3 times of xyz. So this is basically a to the power of 3 to the, a to the power of 3 into xyz divided by xyz. So what we can say, xyz cancel just, we will be left with a to the power of 3. So answer for this question should be choice 4. Easy way that we can answer the question is, in this way we can definitely go for using that property a power m into a power n into a power p. We can easily answer the question. So let's look at the next question given here. It is in the form of 256 to the power of 0.16 into 256 to the power of 0.09. So again ikkada kuda manaki a power m into a power n type lo undi kabatti we can add the indices. So it will become a power m plus n, right? So 256 to the power of 0.16 m place lo undi manaki, n place lo 0.9 undi. So it is basically 256 to the power of 0.25. 0.25 we can write it as fractionally 4, and 256 is basically 4 power 4, right? 4 cube is 64, 64 into 4 is 256. So 4 power 4 whole power 1 by 4. So again in the form of, this is in the form of a power m whole power n, which we can write it as a power m into n. In place of m we have 4 and in place of n we have 1 by 4. So 4 if we cancel, we'll be left with a power 1. So which is nothing but a is what here? Basically 4. So it is basically in the form of 4 power 4 to the power of 4 by 4 means it has to be 4 we can say. So answer for this question should be choice 2, right? Easy question in that way. So let's look at the next question. 1 minus 1 plus x square minus 1 to the power of minus 1 whole to the power of minus 1 is equal to how much? So if you are observing, for this one already we have minus 1, and we know from indices part a power minus 1 is nothing but 1 by a. So what we can say, this we can write it as basically what? 1 by x square minus 1. దీని ముందర మనకి 1 plus ఉంది. So 1 plus 1 by x square minus 1 we are having. So LCM తీసుకుంటే 1 into x square minus 1, that will be x square minus 1 plus 1 divided by x square minus 1 will be having. So minus 1 plus 1 cancel చేస్తే we will be left with x square by x square minus 1. And if you are observing carefully, ఈ మొత్తానికి we have again to the power of -1. So that means what we can say, this is to the power of -1 we are having. So what we understand then, 1 minus, this is again the form of a power -1. So 1 by a we can write. 1 by a will become what? 1 by x square by x square minus 1. So x square minus 1 will go to numerator now. So 1 by x square minus 1 by x square will be left with. So what we understand then, మళ్ళీ LCM తీసుకుంటే 1 into x square minus x square minus into minus plus 1 by x square will be left with. So x square if we can cancel, what will be left out with? 1 by x square. So answer for this question should be choice 3. You can alternately try from, by giving the values to x, something like x as 2. So what we can say, 2 square minus 1 will become basically 3. So 1 by 3 will we are having. So again, if you are taking the reciprocal, that way you can answer the question easily. So this is the actual approach, that is the easy approach. Alana next question చూస్తే, suppose a, b and c are positive real numbers such that 2 power a is equal to 3 power b is equal to 6 power minus c, then ab plus bc plus ca by abc is equal to how much is the question. So if you are observing carefully, we have the given data saying that these three are equal. So 2 power a is equal to 3 power b is equal to 6 power minus c. Let them be equal to some k. Then what we can say, if 2 power a is equal to k, 2 we can write it as k to the power of 1 by a. Right? That is what we have from our indices sets. In the same way, 3 power b, if it is equal to k, 3 will become k power 1 by b. In the same way, 6 is equal to k to the power of minus 1 by c will be having. Right? We know 2 into 3 is nothing but 6. So in place of 2, we can write k power 1 by a. Already in place of k3, we can write k power 1 by b. And in place of 6, we can write k power minus 1 by c. Right? So if you bring that to this side, it will become k power 1 by a into k power 1 by b into k power. Or else best thing is basically first we will write it as equate the indices. This is in the form of what we can say. Left hand side a power m plus a power, a power m into a power n, which will become a power m plus n. So we will write directly that one as k to the power of 1 by a plus 1 by b is equal to k to the power of minus 1 by c. Now as the indices are equal, equating the, as the bases are equal, equating the indices, 1 by minus 1 by c. Or else 1 by c, if this goes say 1 by a plus 1 by b plus 1 by c should be equal to 0. Right? If we take the LCM for the denominators, it will become abc. And then a will go bc times, b will go ac times, and c will go ab times. This is equal to 0. That means this also should be equal to 0, we can say. So answer for this question should be choice 1. So this is definitely an easy question. We have to know that this can be expressed in the form of that k power 1 by a, k power 1 by b, and k power 1 by c. Right? Let's move on to the next one. If 3 power x minus y is equal to 27 and 3 power x plus y is equal to 243, then x is equal to how much is the question. So if you observe carefully, 3 power x minus y is equal to 27 అన్నాడు. ఇక్కడ base 3 ఉంది కాబట్టి we will express 27 also in terms of base 3. We know 27 is nothing but 3 cube. Now the bases are same కాబట్టి if we equate the indices, x minus y is equal to 3 directly we can say. Right or not? అలానే second one, 3 to the power of x plus y is equal to 243. 243 is nothing but 81 3s. 81 is 3 power 4. 3 power 4 into 3 power 1 means 3 power 5. So now again equating the indices here, what we can say, x plus y should be equal to 5. ఈ రెండింటిని యాడ్ చేస్తే 2x is equal to 8 will be getting. So x should be equal to 4. One more easy question, right? Let's look at the next one here. If root 3 in power 5 into 9 square should be, is equal to 3 power n into 3 root 3, then the value of n is how much is the question. So root 3 power 5, right, is into 9 square we are having, is equal to 3 power n into 3 root 3. So manaki ikkada root 3 undi kabatti better we express this also in terms of root 3. That will be better. So we will write this one as basically root 3 power 4 into root 3 power 1. Because as indices are same, we can adding them, 4 plus 1 will be getting 5. Root 3 power 4 we can add it as what? Root 3 whole square whole square. because 4 is nothing but 2 into 2. Root 3 square is 3, 3 square is 9. So it is 9 into root 3 we will be having. Into 9 square is equal to 3 power n into 3 root 3. So root 3 can cancel cheste. 9 is 3 square. 3 square whole square will be 3 power 4. So it will become basically 3 power 6 on the left hand side. What about right hand side? A power m into a power n will be a power m plus n. So 3 power n plus 1 will be having. So n plus 1 is equal to basically we are having 6. So n should be equal to what? 5. So that is how we can get the answer for this question easily. Right? So answer for this question would be choice